I wanted to provide you with some information that will help you be successful in this Blackboard course during the summer. Now, a lot of what I'm going to say is very generic because I teach several different courses, and so some of what I say may or may not apply to your particular course. The best way to know that, I'll try and mention it as we go through the different categories of information, but the best way to know that is, of course, to look at the syllabus. So first thing, please realize, I hope you know that you signed up in a summer course. You're covering roughly 15 weeks of work in 10 weeks. Now, I try and streamline where I can, and any small assignments that really perhaps I can leave out to lessen your workload, I do that. But please realize, though, that the course content's the same as if you were taking it in a regular semester in the fall or the spring, which is 15 weeks. Because, you know, you're getting the same amount of credit. So be aware of that, and that means you're going to need to spend extra time. If you think about it, if you were in a face-to-face class, our face-to-face classes last an hour and 15 minutes 2 times a week. There's so many credit hours we have to put in to actually receive credit at the state level for a course. And so you would be spending in class 2.5 hours a week, and then outside of class, it doesn't include any homework that you'd be required to do. So if you think about it in those terms, you need to plan accordingly to how much time you're going to devote during the week to working on my course. Now, I do not open everything at once and let you work at your pace because I find students are not successful. Too many students procrastinate, and at the very end of the semester, they try and do it all, and it's not possible. In addition, in writing classes especially, the work is cumulative. It builds. Every week builds on the lessons from the previous week. So if you're not successful in early lessons, you're definitely not going to be successful in later lessons, if that makes sense. So what I'm doing this semester to make it sort of easier is I'm opening 2 weeks at a time. You are not required to do 2 weeks worth of work in 1 week, but I do realize that some students want to work ahead. And so that way you can begin with week one's lessons, and if you complete them and you still have time, you can be in week two's lessons. Now please realize that doesn't mean that I'm going to grade everything as soon as you submit it. That we're going to talk about grades in just a second and my process there. But understand that I expect you to log in at least twice a week. The way that my course is set up, except for the first week and except on holidays, you have from Tuesday morning at 8 in the morning, because that's when a new week's lesson will open, until the following Monday night to complete work. And then I usually grade it after that Monday, after the due date. Sometimes I get to it during the week, but a lot of times the grading is actually done after the due date is passed. So if you're working ahead, it doesn't mean I'm going to get to your work faster as far as grades. It just means you can complete it. Again, that's just an option that you have, but you're not required to certainly to work ahead. Also, this summer, we're going to have 3 different holidays, and the holidays fall on Monday. We're going to have Memorial Day, which is May 30th. We're going to have Juneteenth, which is a new national holiday, and it will fall on June the 20th. And then we'll have the 4th of July holiday, which will be on, of course, the 4th of July. So because the school is closed on those Mondays, I extend by an extra day the due dates to the following Tuesday, if that makes sense. More about due dates and late work and the late work policy and so forth. What I recommend students do is actually to log in Tuesday morning when the week's lesson opens. Take a look at what's being required, because the thing about these courses is that it's not the same amount of work every week. Some weeks there'll be less reading, or there'll be fewer actual assignments, and some weeks there'll be a lot. And so what I recommend that you do is to actually take a look, open up the folder on Tuesday for that week, and then take a look at the workload and plan accordingly. If maybe you're not going to do anything then, but that way you can kind of schedule ahead and figure out, okay, when will I have time to do this? I cannot emphasize enough that the most successful students do work early. if you wait until the due dates, which are usually Monday nights, to do everything, your work is usually not that successful. Also, I'm not available Monday nights in case you get into some kind of trouble or have questions, or you're having trouble getting something uploaded, for example, that you need to submit. I'm not available. And so once the due date passes, the particular assignments close and you don't have access to them anymore. Okay? So please be aware of that and plan accordingly. Again, procrastinating until the hour or so before something is due is the absolute worst way to take this course. Okay? All right, let's go from here to talking about the syllabus. You can find the course syllabus in the syllabus tab in the menu in Blackboard. As a matter of fact, your very first assignment for me, which is called a no-show assignment, because you must complete it to remain on the course roster, requires that it's just 5 questions about the syllabus itself. And please note on that little quiz, I don't mind at all if you use a copy of the syllabus to help you answer the questions, because what I've done is pulled out 5 questions that are particularly important, because I realize there's a lot of information on these syllabi. But I've pulled out 5 particular questions that I really want you to know the answers to, okay? But the syllabus is kind of our course contract. It contains our policies. It contains a course description. It contains what I think we're going to be doing and when I think we're going to be doing it. So let's go over a few aspects of this syllabus in detail. Now here's a sample syllabus for one of my courses this semester, and there are certain things I'd like for you to notice about this, about the syllabus, okay? First is my contact information. This is my telephone number, 706-965-1132. So you can call me, and if I am not available, just leave a message and I'll call you back as soon as I can. Now this is my GNTC email address, but I prefer that you use Blackboard, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. The reason that I prefer that you use Blackboard to email me instead of using this particular address is that Blackboard automatically identifies the course from which you are writing and about which you are writing. I have about 100 students this semester, and so until I connect your names with particular courses, you can see how if you just shoot me an email and I don't know which of the courses I'm teaching you're referring to, that slows us down, because I'm going to email you back and say, okay, please email me from Blackboard so that I know to which course you're talking about. I am located on the Ringgold campus. All right, this is Catoosa County campus. I'm in room 207, the 2nd floor. I'm happy to meet with you if you set up an appointment with me and if that's convenient. However, most of our meetings we can conduct online, virtually. So more about that in a second. These are my office hours, so you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to reach me. It's not that I'm not here at other times, but these are my established office hours where I will be usually sitting in my office, with the exception of Wednesday and Friday. I telework from home. But Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I will be in my office at this time. Again, other times as well, but just for your information, I'm guaranteed to be available to you then. Our textbooks for all courses, now obviously this is the English 1010 course sample that I'm using, but all of our textbooks for all of our English courses are online resources. They are free to our students. Some of you, I've actually put the textbook, and I'll show you that in a second. For some courses, I've actually put the textbook as part of the menu. Other courses, I actually just pull in the links into the week's lessons themselves instead of uploading that entire textbook. But again, there's nothing for you to purchase. There's nothing to buy. Everything is self-contained within your course. Okay. Notice that the last day of the course is August 1st, but actually the last day of class itself is July 27th, I believe. It's the 26th or 27th, maybe 26th. I'll have it updated on your calendar. Co-requisites, prerequisites, descriptions, and so forth, I'll let you read that, as well as the course competencies and objectives. Read that when you have time. We're not going to take the time to go over it now. Just realize that these competencies, objectives, and course description are established at the state level. Anyone in any technical college who's taking an English 1101 course, for example, have to meet these particular criteria successfully, and this is what we have to teach in order for you to receive credit. Also, I'm sure you're aware, if you're taking a degree level course, that course, if you're working on an associate's degree, please note that our course, and you probably know this, transfers anywhere within the Georgia system. Certainly the state of Georgia colleges and universities, but also a lot of private colleges, as well as in Tennessee. So your courses can receive credit. Now again, I'm talking about degree level courses. Strategies and attendance policy and so forth. We're going to skip this part. I'm going to come back to it in a second. Please notice that you do need Microsoft Word. All right. There are only certain formats that I can open and read when you create a document. Let's say you're drafting an essay for me. The word processing program that you need to use is Microsoft Word, okay, which automatically saves as a .docx. .docs. That indicates Microsoft Word document. If you have, for example, Apple computer products, I cannot open a .pages, which is the format for used for the word processing program in an Apple product. I don't have that capability. So if you upload something that's created using a different word processing program, and I can't open it, I can't open Google Docs, for example. And I realize a lot of high schools especially use Google Docs. So I don't have that capability. The only file formats that I can open are .docx, .rtf, and .pdf. And if you're unsure what I'm talking about, please contact me. But also realize that all GNTC students, if you're registered, have access to Microsoft Word for free. When you log into My GNTC, you'll see that you have that option there. Microsoft Office Suite products are all free to GNTC students. That includes Excel and PowerPoint, and of course Microsoft Word. Next thing to talk about has to do with plagiarism. I have a plagiarism policy that you'll find, it's part of the notes. Usually it follows the grading information. And so 3 important points. Please do not submit work you've done for another class, including another, if you for some reason are retaking this class. All work should be original. Do not do research. That means look online for answers or to pull in information unless the assignment specifically calls for it. This is important in a literature class especially, because what happens is if I'm looking for your understanding of something that you've read and you're pulling in something from SparkNotes, that's would be considered cheating. Okay. Now there are times when I specifically say, look online, see if you can find some more information about this and pull and include it and document it. Documentation means giving credit to your source material. And in any English 1010, English 1101, or English 1102 course, we are going to cover documentation. All right. You plagiarize otherwise, even if it's unintentional. Now, unintentional plagiarism is when you include information and you don't document it, but it's pretty obvious that you didn't know what you were doing. And that's the reason I'm going over this now. But anything that's unintentionally plagiarized cannot receive above a 50%. Okay, grade. So if the total point total is 100, you can't receive above a 50. Okay. Intentionally plagiarized documents, that's where you go online and find a whole paper and turn it in as though it were yours, or you copy somebody else's. Intentional plagiarism is automatically a 0. And if you are in a course that contains tests, and you find answers online, you look up answers online and not restrict yourself to just the information that I allow, please realize that you'll receive a 0 for the entire test, not just that one particular question. Okay, so I want to be very clear about that from the beginning. Next thing, if you for some reason feel that you need to withdraw from this course or any course that you're taking this semester, please notice you have to withdraw yourself. Okay. And you can go through my GNTC, or you can contact the school, and there's paperwork that you can fill out. The last day to withdraw from a summer A-term course, and this course does run 10 weeks. This is not a B-term, which only runs 8 weeks. This is A-term, so we go all the way through July 26th, okay? But anytime, if you intend to withdraw from the course or any other course, July 5th is the last day that you can do so without actually failing the course, if that makes sense. What happens is you receive a W on your transcript, and a W just indicates to anyone who's looking at your paperwork that you began this course but you did not complete it. It does not in any way impact your overall grade point average. It's just a W. You can retake the course again. But do always, if you're using financial aid, contact financial aid before you withdraw yourself. And after July 5th, what happens? It's too late to withdraw from a course. And so if you just quit attending or submitting work, then you'll end up, failing the course. Final thing I want to talk about on this syllabus specifically before I get into due dates and grades, which I know everybody's interested in. There's a student guide at the very end of your syllabus, and this is what I think we're doing and when I think we're doing it. But it's by no means the actual schedule. The best way to know what the assignments are is to keep up in Blackboard. Look at each week's lessons have due dates. It tells you specifically, which I'm going to show you in a minute, as well as the course calendar should be up to date. It should tell you when everything is due. So these are the types of things I think we're doing and when I think we're doing them. Now let's talk about the late work policy for my class, due dates and grades specifically. A few things I'd like for you to know about your work. I don't accept late work unless you contact me before the due date. Now, please notice, those of you who are procrastinators, this does not apply to you because it's too late if you've procrastinated until the due date. But I realize life happens. It happens to me too. It interferes with your ability to get things done in a timely way, sometimes in a course. I need to know as soon as possible, and I'm happy to extend due dates for you. Okay. If you know, if you've got a particularly busy week upcoming, you know that you're not going to be able to get something in by Monday night, which is when most things are due, unless there's a holiday, then please let me know before Monday. Okay. And I will be glad to work with you and give you extra time. I don't care about that at all. But again, it cannot be the day things are due. Unless there is a verifiable emergency. And by verifiable, I mean paperwork. You were checked into a hospital and you can send me the information. Okay. Now, I do this, honestly, I've been teaching more than 30-something years. I have no idea. I can't count anymore. High school level, college level, university level. I've got a lot of experience teaching, and I'm aware of what works for students and what doesn't. Okay, especially in a composition course. My master's level degree is in writing composition and theory, but I also have a degree in literature. So I have a very extensive background. This is my 11th year with Georgia Northwestern Technical College. I have an extensive background in working with students and in trying and helping them to be successful. And so what I'm giving you now are the parameters that work. Okay. And that end up with most students making good grades. As a matter of fact, most students are prepared for my courses, do well in my courses, unless they don't submit work. That's really the only time that most students fail. It's very rarely do I have a student who just cannot do the work. Now, literature sometimes is a little bit trickier. So if you're taking English 2130, which is the American Literature course, because a lot of critical thinking is required in that particular course. Sometimes students really struggle a bit more, especially if their background in English and in writing and in critical thinking is not that strong. But again, as long as you stick with it, I can work with you, and I'm going to show you some tools that will help you as well. Now, we do have one late work period. I call it the grace period. Okay, it's prior to the last day that you can withdraw from the course. which is July 5th, so that'll be the week before that, where you can make up 3 small assignments. And at that time, I'll send out this email that will explain how you go about doing it. But I'm not talking about tests. You can never make up a test if you miss it. I'm not talking about essays or major papers. You cannot make those up if you miss the initial period in which they're due. But anything smaller than that, usually 50 points or less, which is what most of your assignments are, you may make up the work. Okay, 3 of those. I had to limit it to 3 because occasionally I had some students who just were trying to wait till grace period to do everything, and they, of course, were not successful, and that's too much of a grading load for me personally. So I do not do that anymore. Now, I will announce, and I'll have it on your calendar when the grace period is. So again, if you miss 3 assignments, 3 small assignments, and again, small meaning weighted less than 50 points, then during this grace period, you can go back and make those up. Again, if we look back at the syllabus, and this is a sample syllabus from my English 1010 course. If you're in a different course, it will look similar to this. There are a couple of exceptions. One, English 1010 and then the literature course, English 2130, both have tests. If you're in English 1101, I don't give you tests. It's a writing course. That's the whole point of the course. And so your writing itself is technically the test, how successful those formal papers and that final research paper are. But if you take a look at the grades, the evaluation here, what you'll notice is I use a cumulative point system. By the time the semester is over, you have the option, it'll be close to 1,000 points, okay? And so basically I assign point totals based on how much effort, time, energy it's going to take you, brain power it's going to take you to do the assignment. So, for example, in this course, you'll have 1 essay, 1 research write, 4 business writing assignments, 2 short writes, 3 unit tests. And by unit, what I simply mean is every 3.5 to 4 weeks, I kind of group information together, and you'll be tested on that information. And then the next 3 weeks, you'll have a test on that information. So it's a unit only in the sense that that's how I'm grouping the work. You'll have quizzes and other exercises. The point totals vary. Discussion boards and blogs, the point totals vary. I do keep your grades, a running total of your grades in Blackboard. It's labeled in the menu, My Grades. I'll show you that in a second. And then here, of course, is the late work policy. Now, essays, for example, in this course, you will write 1 lengthier essay and 1 research write. I do have sort of a separate policy for those formal writes that are 100 points. And in English 1101, you have 4 different papers and a research paper, right? So the policy for this written work is that you can turn it in up to 3 days late. Now, this just applies to essays and research papers. That's it. Okay, no other assignments. So, for example, if the paper is due on Monday, you turn it in on Wednesday. I grade the paper and it gets an 83. It's got a 20% penalty. Remember, 10% per day. So that means that will drop the grade to a 63. And then I won't take it after the 4th day, okay? But that rarely happens to students because we go through drafting process and then you've already got something down on paper with some feedback. Rarely do students have issues turning in this written work late. Please remember again, though, I do not take late tests. A couple of final notes about navigating the course. Here on the left-hand side, this is your menu. I'm sure you're already familiar with looking at this. Please be sure and check out announcements, okay? And again, this is a sample course. Your course will look something like this. So start here for announcements. Please always be sure and check out announcements if you select it. And for the week, and normally I will send out an email that contains the same announcement material. Here's your syllabus, all right, so if you select it, the syllabus is available. Please notice to open anything, just select the title. Okay, so if you select the title, it will open. It's taking a minute to load. There you go. Okay. Start here for lessons. This is the important part. This is where you find the graded work. I do realize that in a lot of your Blackboard courses, they will have a discussion boards link here. I don't do that because you don't have a discussion board every week, so it just confuses students. All of the assignments are self-contained in the particular lessons tab. So when you select the lessons tab, notice I've already opened 2 weeks worth of work for this particular course. Again, you can work ahead if you want to, or you don't have to. This is the due date. Since Monday is a holiday, Monday, May 30th, this is the due date for the information in this lesson. Notice that I always summarize the lesson's content, so be sure and look over that first. And then, again, to open anything, you click on it. All right? So to start the quiz, you click on it. To open this file, this is a folder. This is a folder, which means it contains more pieces than just one. You click on it. All right, and then again, to open this, you click, you click, you click. Discussion boards. I've got a little video here that explains how to submit if you're unfamiliar with using discussion boards. For this particular course, I did put the textbook here on the left-hand side. Again, I did not do that for every course. Sometimes when you open your lesson, the reading assignment will just be a link in there that you click on. Okay. For this particular course, English 1101, notice if you select the textbook, it's divided into chapters. Each week's lesson will tell you what to read. So let's just say you're supposed to read chapter 2.2. Open it. And then I don't put page numbers. You actually have to scroll because of the formatting of this particular textbook. Select Start Lesson, and then notice that you can navigate here down the right-hand side. So if all I ask for you to read is 2.2, then you select that, 2.2, and there it is. Or of course, you can scroll, down. Now, to go backward, move back to the original lesson, of course, use the back arrow tab. Textbook at the top. Okay. To continue talking about this, here is the calendar. All right, so select the calendar and it should open up. And obviously you can fill in anything you want to. You can add to it, but here in pink for this course are the assignments and their due dates. Okay. This is where you can take a look at your grades. And by the way, this is also where you can go back and look at what you missed. Once something's graded, the grade should show up in blue. If you click on that blue grade, then it will open up and you should be able to review the quiz or test or whatever. And this is also where my feedback will show up. This is where I want you to send me email. Please email me, and I'll remind you if you use my GNTC, I'll ask you to, please go into Blackboard, because again, it will identify the course, so I'll know which course you're referring. NetTutor, we pay for as a free service to you. And so I'm going to launch NetTutor. I've also got a video that I'll send out later. Just select I agree here. Don't show this. Continue. Notice that if you're taking other courses besides English, that there are options. For example, if you're taking biology, you can get help with biology. NetTutor is staffed by credentialed, meaning master's degree or doctorate professionals who can provide help to you. So if you need help with writing, select the Writing Center, and notice you've got really 3 options. You can meet live with a tutor like in a chat room, or you can drop off a question and then later come back and receive the answer. Most students use this feature, drop off a paper. When you select this, all right, you have to give the title. You have to tell them about the assignment, but for every formal assignment I give you guidelines, so it will help you give you some information that you can put there. If you are an ESL student, if English is not your native language and you need some help with that, please select this box, because there are tutors who are specifically trained and who are bilingual and or multilingual and who can help you. Then you select Next, and notice that your option is to choose 2 different, you can't choose more than 2, but 2 different areas that you need help with. For example, if you have a lot of problem with grammar, check the box. Okay, and then let's just say you have trouble sticking to a point, focus and thesis, select that. Then you select paper type, and you just, you continue filling out these boxes, and then you upload a paper. Okay, so please be aware that is such a wonderful resource for you. All right, the final thing that I want to show you, we'll go back to the, I hope we'll go back. Let me see if I can get back to the course. All right, I'm logging out of that. The final thing that I want to show you, give me just a second, please, is on the left-hand side in the menu. Throughout the semester, we will be using I'll have to put it here in this course. Throughout the semester, we will be having live sessions. Let me go where I know that there is one. Well, I don't see it there either. I'm going to add this to the menu, Blackboard Collaborate. You will use Blackboard Collaborate to attend a live session. I'll send more information out about that when they're scheduled. If you are unable to attend the session when I schedule it, because I can't find a time that's really convenient for every student, then I always record those sessions, and then I send out the link so that you can watch what we covered during that session. Okay. If you have any questions about anything that I've included in this short orientation video or about the course itself, please don't hesitate to contact me. Honestly, communication is the most important way in which you can be sure that you succeed. So I'm available. I'm happy to answer questions. That's what I'm here for. I'm happy to help you. Please don't hesitate to contact me anytime you have questions.